Allow me to just say something in that context, especially on the paragraph I've just elaborated, that we live in a very dynamic world. And it's not always that I find an occasion where I am before the Chief Justice, DCJ, or the Justices of the Supreme Court. And as a citizen, to try and, speak to some of the issues that sometimes, engage my mind. And one of the issues that I would want to say is, in this complex and dynamic space, and as was said very ably by the Chief Justice, where you have social media, you have, all manner of pressures, sometimes from anonymous people, anonymous, characters, and let me not abuse it, people, anonymous, people who nobody knows what is their push. What happens, for example, with a government that has been elected on the basis of a manifesto? What is the place of a manifesto? A program that has been voted for by millions of Kenyans alongside a candidate and a party. What weight does the court put whenever there is a challenge on a manifesto? I would want to invite the court to think about it. How do you respond to litigants, individuals, that challenge a policy and a manifesto position canvassed among the citizens of Kenya, voted by the people of Kenya? And how do we use the place of manifesto to remove politics of personalities and instead try to, consolidate the place of politics that is around a program, a policy, an agenda? How does the court help us to consolidate the place of getting away politics from being about personalities, or sometimes even about ethnicity, and taking it to the realm of issues, policies, programs? And how do we work together to make sure that we consolidate the place of a development trajectory, a program, a national program, backstopped by the people of Kenya through an election and rolled out by an elected government? And sometimes, as was said again by my younger brother Sakaja, if you have a program, canvassed by a political party, a government, being rolled out, and sometimes it's not populist. Sometimes, as politicians, you have to balance between being popular and doing the right thing. Sometimes they don't go together. And then you sacrifice your political capital to do the right thing. But then the court on the other side decides to be popular and undermine the agenda that you have. And allow me, Madam Chief Justice, to appear before you on this matter. And I hope I am not abusing the court process, on this matter. I'm just trying to, in a very simple way, to put my thoughts across so that, maybe the court can apply its mind to it and help us, chart this course as Kenyans. Because it's me today, it's somebody else tomorrow, it's the next person the next day. And we all must think about this. So that particular matter is sometimes is a matter that informs some of the things that we do. And I am a layman, but we're told that the court also makes decisions. Sometimes they have to factor in public interest. Where does public interest, populism, playing to the gallery, where is that? How do we nuance it so that it is managed properly and we don't drop the ball? So this is just thoughts, and I'm really happy that Madam Chief Justice has said it clearly that we need to consult more, as institutions. What has become clear during the course of constitutional implementation and in the life of the Supreme Court is that notwithstanding the principle of separation of powers and the need for checks and balances, cooperation between organs of government and among state institutions is necessary, is also desirable, and this is for the promotion of national interest and constitutionalism. And that brings me again to the matter that was canvassed by my deputy here. My sister Njoki spoke to it and said, we need independence, we need to avoid overreach and interference. Overreach and interference, that kind of thing. Now, we must be careful as the executive to avoid overreach and interference. Because we always talk about judicial independence. And it's a fundamental principle of our Constitution. And there's a remedy for executive overreach, because the judiciary will do something about it. But what happens when we have judicial overreach and judicial interference? Who will help us to resolve it? I know these are, and I hope I'm not making difficult things here. I'm just asking myself as a layman, and maybe I now have a good deputy, a professor. Maybe he'll help educate me when we have some time. But again, I would really want to ask ourselves, and so that as we restrain ourselves as the executive, not to interfere, not to overreach on matters that are in the purview of the judiciary or other arms of government for that matter. I think there is an equally very high responsibility on the part of the judiciary to restrain itself, and I think the Chief Justice here said so, to restrain itself on matters that are in the purview of other arms of government. so that we can have the committee of working together and the interdependence while respecting our independence or the independence of other arms of government.